Welcome along, lovely to have you with us. You're watching this evening's Premier League tonight. The excitement in the studio is palpable. They are saving it for the show. That's what they're doing. Use the hashtag PL tonight to get involved with the show this evening. We want to know about your team, what you thought of their performance today. A question for any of the guys. Whatever it is that floats your boat about football this evening, it's your show. So hashtag PL tonight on social media, and hopefully we'll get around to hearing from you. But let's just go through the headlines from today, because it's been a big old day once again for Manchester United. The four tops for the second game in succession. Manchester United scored 4 goals. Did you hear the stat at the end of the game? First time they've done that in 110 years.
Not interested.
You must be delighted with that start to the season for them.
Yeah, buzzing for them.
Great watching them, isn't it? Such a good team to watch at the moment. Right, the other headline today. Saints and Sinners. We all know who the sinner was. There he is in the shot. Saints, though.
That was a better game to watch.
It was a good game.
It was a better game to watch.
I thought you might say that. I thought you might say that. It was a good game, actually, with the West Ham fight back being down to 10 men. And then Main Mane, you would have enjoyed that one. Important goal. Just snuck past Crystal Palace. All right.
Wins a win.
Loads to talk about, loads to get through in the next hour. It's lovely to have you with us. Get involved using the hashtag PL tonight. But we start the show with Adam McCullough from the Full-Time Devils talking Manchester United.
Just outside the ground where Man United have won 4-0, now 1-0. I thought Swansea City were going to get back into it, and it was going to be another one of those days. Swansea have got many results against Manchester United over the last couple of years, and I thought they were about to do it again. But 3 quick-fire goals in the second half have made it a comfortable 4-0 victory for Manchester United. Another 4 goals, another clean sheet. It's difficult not to get carried away after these 2 performances from the Reds, but it's exactly the way we needed to start the season, and it's the way we need to continue as well. We want to get our trophy back this season, and that's the way to go about it.
Love it. That's why we love football. It's
That's why I love football, yeah, brilliant.
Or it's down there.
It's difficult not to get carried away.
At the moment. Get involved. If you're a Man United fan and you want to share your thoughts on your team's performance so far this evening, it's hashtag PL tonight. So Adam is saying, difficult not to get carried away. Jose Mourinho is saying, let's see how we react in the face of adversity.
The thing that I want to see, but I don't want to see. But if it happens, I want to see the team losing and see the way we emotionally react to it, because it's also another stage. Be losing and try to change the result. Because in this moment everything is going in our favor, but you know, it's not always motorway. You always find difficult roads and roadworks, and we have to be ready.
Well, he's driving the bus down the motorway okay at the moment, isn't he? Look, 2 4-0 wins, but over West Ham we've had an awful start to the season, and Swansea, who we expect to be fighting relegation once again. So is it too early to watch those 2 games and go, Manchester United, best team in the league?
You're joking? Of course it is, yeah. Of course it is. Yes, the 2 very good victories, and there's a lot to be positive about, and the new signings are playing well, and well, certainly when we've done Manchester United games in the last couple of weeks, we know they're a better team than last year. They're bigger, they're stronger. They brought Lukaku in, who scored lots of goals. But to get carried away at this early stage after beating West Ham and Swansea, of course it is. This is not a Man United thing. I'd say this about anybody.
What I would say, though, is they're the teams that, you know, over the last 3 years or so, they have struggled against and maybe slipped up against stupid results. You know, Mourinho in the big game is going to have a game plan. You know, he's a serial winner and he produces teams and sets them up to win big games. If you Manchester United keep turning out results like that, there's no doubt about it. Come the end of the season, they will be involved and be in the mix.
I think we expect that, though, didn't we? I think we expect them this year to be a lot stronger than they were, Mark.
Well, Mourinho has stolen a march on everybody in the pre-season. The signings that he made, Lukaku is pivotal in this Premier League already. We knew that he was at times a pussycat, but a real tiger of a player, and he's playing now to his potential. Suddenly he's doing it. Matic in midfield is pulling the strings. Pogba now is suddenly doing what we expected of him last season. It's only 2 matches, but what he did in the transfer market, what he's done at the start of the season, is a totally different Manchester United, and all that kind of... it's almost like propaganda, but that aura comes back.
Yeah.
Old Trafford becomes a really difficult place to go to. You know, all those draws go out the window, and he's turned it round. It's very early in the season, but it's been really impressive how they've done it.
It's a really positive start from them, isn't it?
Yeah, and you know, you've spoken about signings. Wekash on social media says Lukaku, Pogba, Martial, Rashford, Matic. That is how you build a winning team. Alex Fraser got in touch. Hello, Alex. Says after 2 goals and an assist in 25 minutes, Anthony Martial deserves to start the next game for Manchester United. Hello as well to Harry Salmon using the hashtag PL tonight. United played with confidence, showed they could be clinical, managed the game superbly. So much chat and so much positivity from United fans on Twitter, especially tonight. Have they got the players? Go on.
Pace. For me, when I watch them now, we're just seeing bits of highlights today. There's a flash of pace from Martial, rapid, goes past people that they're not there. When you've got that in your team, as a defender, when you watch players, I was lucky enough to play with some fantastic players like Henry. I would giggle when they got the ball. And that's how these players feel now at Manchester United. Suddenly they've got real weaponry at the top of their team that can punish teams. And they're looking, but it's too early in the day to say. I feel Man City will win the league. Actually, if you're asking,
they're the favourites, aren't they?
I think it's great, isn't it? The fact that we do get carried away because when Martial, Rashford, I think Van Gaal brought Martial in, didn't he? And was ridiculed at certain because of his signings, and we need to be patient with him. And he's had a bit of criticism, and suddenly when things start to go right, we start to say, it's all coming together now, we're building a great team. You just need patience a lot of time in this game. Martial is only young, Rashford is only young. We know he's going to have poor games in the future, but we just need to lay off them a bit. But I think the pivotal signings of Matic and Lukaku, they've brought the team so far forwards, haven't they? And they've let the likes of Pogba then express themselves and influence the games more in further positions on the pitch, and that helps the younger players.
And I thought they should be both at Chelsea. Surely that Lukaku wanted to go back for unfinished business to Chelsea, but the manager wasn't interested. Matic should never have been allowed to leave Chelsea. So Mourinho's made all that happen. So everything he's doing now, for me, counts for double because of those signings he made.
I think the signings he made really complement the people that are already
around
there.
him, yeah.
So, as you say, Pogba's had a lift. Mkhitaryan, now he's got pace. He's got Lukaku running into the channels. Matic, because they've got so much pace and attacking players, he steadies the ship and breaks everything up and puts all the fires out, which is what Arsenal struggle.
I think Mkhitaryan now, a year later, hasn't he? We know that has now suddenly looks as if he's going to make assists every game. Looks like he was when we brought him from the Bundesliga into the Premier League. Yes, he was king of assists in the Bundesliga. Last year he took time to settle, which is understandable. Learn a new language, different team, huge team in United, and suddenly he started the season. And he's got more assists in 2 games, I think, than he had last season. I mean, he's really started the season well, and we're talking about Lukaku.
And of course, Jose Mourinho is pivotal to this. And we've got the stats of his second season in charge as a manager. Take a look at this, because this is fascinating reading. So this is his second season record. You can see going right back to 2002, 2003. He's won Liga NOS, Premier League, Serie A, Coppa Italia, and the Champions League, of course, in that treble year at Inter, La Liga, then the Premier League and the League Cup at Chelsea, all in the second year. As a player, are you aware of that sort of stuff? And do you start thinking this is a manager who takes a bit of time to bed in and then he starts winning? Or is this just what happens because you need time to build a team? And Jose's at clubs where they give him the money to go in and make an impact, basically.
I think you're aware he's a top-class manager, and you know that he's going to be there or thereabout when he competes. And if he goes in and takes over a team where they are weak or they're not doing well, you know it's only going to be a matter of time before he builds something. He's very good in the transfer market. He's good at spotting where teams need to improve, where they're weak. And he's sorted this Manchester United side.
But it helps, doesn't it, when he's got the finances behind him? It helps that he wants a £75 million centre forward, and they've got the ability to go and get it.
Right,
but he still has to get it right. But I think we all know how great a manager he is.
I've never worked with him, but Patrick Vieira tells me that there's a sort of... Someone's laughing in my ear. Because I never worked with him.
That's brilliant.
Patrick Vieira has said to me, there's a manager, if you compare him to someone like Arsene Wenger, the things with Mourinho is that there's a feeling there's no time to lose. We can be successful now, but not tomorrow. But we have to do it now, otherwise it's not going to happen for us. And it creates an urgency in their play. And you have to say that eventually when he gets it right, he's going to win something. Now, this is what fascinates me this year is Guardiola's another one who very rarely finishes without a trophy. So which one is it going to be this season? And it's going to be an incredible fight to the end with Spurs in there, Liverpool doing better now. There's an awful lot about this Premier League. Mourinho, they're the early chasers, but it's about being in the right position come April time. Will they still be able to do it?
This is from United Stand, MUFC. Paul Pogba is doing things with the football you've only dreamt about or tried on FIFA. Are you seeing that?
I think we've seen flashes. You know, we've all mentioned that he needs to be more and more consistent. But what we'll say is the likes of Matic and the likes of Lukaku will complement his game, will lift him. And, you know, he will be able to find that consistency a lot easier than he did last year, where United are still finding the right balance and the right players.
I bet United fans are sitting at home loving you talking positively about their football club.
Got to be constructive, Jake. You've got to be fair.
Very much so.
Yeah, of course.
Matt Hartwright, do you see any weaknesses in our squad now, or do you think we've got the squad for the title?
I think they've got the squad to compete for the title now, but, you know, they can improve in certain areas. I still think they need a top-class left-back. I'm still not sure the centre-half partnership's the one of a Rio Ferdinand and a Vidic, so they're the areas for me if you're being ultra-fussy with United.
I think the fact that we've all been asked questions about who we all think will win the league at the start of the season with the squads that were available at this time, and I plumb for Manchester City. I think Martin plumbed for Manchester City. I don't know Stephen went for Manchester City. So, of course, they can compete and be competitive and fight and pull out great results like this. But I personally feel like Manchester City have got a better squad. I do. Whether they can fight as hard as United or grind results out is only, you know, we'll wait and see. But I think City have got the best squad, more equipped than United this year.
OK, great. A few other comments coming in. United fan Big Papa says United have options and balance. They could be playing Martial and Rashford. Sure to add another attacking option. Zlatan possibly coming back. Matic is key. Ollie Webb, United looking really strong. Matic, Mkhitaryan and Pogba all looking outstanding, just to name a few. But as we've said, not getting carried away, right? Not much anyway. Not much anyway. But listen, that's fair. That's why we love football, though, isn't it?
Exactly.
OK, Jack Butland is going to be joining us very shortly on this evening's Premier League tonight. Any questions for Jack? If you're a Stoke fan, if you're an England fan, if you want to know his thoughts about where he believes he sits in the pecking order for his country, get your thoughts into us using the hashtag PL tonight. And after the break, 3-word match reports. Tell us, who do you support and the 3 words that sum up your team's performance today? Was that said about Martin? I can't believe that. You didn't hear that? No. Good.
You wouldn't say it to his face, though, would you?
Hey! I'm not even joking.
It was a Jake show on it, by the way.
It is.
Well,
That's what they're saying in my ear.
It says there.
It's all about Jake.
Jake Humphrey, Premier League Tonight Show.
See you after the break. Welcome back to this evening's Premier League Tonight. A round of applause for Jack Butland for his performance today. Well done. How was it out there?
Yeah, good. Very tough.
Enjoyed it?
Really good performance. Yeah, pleased with the boys.
Good. These guys decided man of the match and they gave it to Hesse, not you. I'm sorry about
Stop
that.
lying. Who did we give it to? Maka gave it to Hesse. Who did we give it to?
Jack Butland.
Good lad.
3-word match reports have been coming in. Des, who's a West Ham fan, a defensive disaster. Shahan, who's a Liverpool fan, super Sadio Mane. We'll talk about Liverpool in a bit. Ryan, a Man United fan. United are ruthless. Could you give us your 3-word match report for Stoke today?
Very solid performance.
Perfect. It's exactly what it was. And let's talk Stoke then. And we'll start by hearing from Craig, who's a Stoke City fan and no doubt very happy indeed.
1-0 Stoke. I'm absolutely delighted from that. All the negativity throughout the summer from media, fans alike, etc. We were great today. We showed heart. We showed something that we're kind of well known for, but it's disappeared over the last 18 months. The new signings were great. Chipu, amazing. Hesse, great. Darren Fletcher is going to be a great signing. Real step up. I'm absolutely buzzing. Fully deserve that. Get in Stoke.
I think you enjoyed the game.
Yeah, I think we all did.
Yeah, I bet you did. The new signings do look good, don't they? I mean, Hesse particularly, he's been here a couple of days and comes in and plays like that.
Yeah, I think we've had a bit of criticism just because we haven't spent money. I don't think necessarily need to. We've brought in some really experienced players, players that want to prove themselves at this level, but also the lads that are still here have stepped up in positions they weren't in before. And yeah, really good to see, like the likes of Jesse, who hasn't had a lot of game time lately and probably isn't fully up to speed yet. You know, come and do that for us today.
If you've got a question for Jack, by the way, use the hashtag PL tonight. They'll come straight into the iPad and we'll pass them on to you. In fact, there's one that's come in already, actually. What is Stoke's main goal this evening as a whole and your personal goals? Let's talk about Stoke first of all then. Have you had a conversation as a squad about the aim for the season?
Yeah, we usually do. We usually set out targets. I think, you know, last season was a bit of a disappointment just in terms of where we finished and just knowing that we could have done better. So, you know, before that 3 ninth place finishes in a row, that's what we want to get back to. And I think we've learned a lot about what we've got actually from that performance tonight, and I think we've really got enough to hopefully get close to that again.
Jack, I think after your performance today and the form you've started the season in, and obviously at times last season as well, people are going to be bringing the England situation up, with Joe Hart and yourself. Where do you think that's at in terms of the fight for the number one? Do you feel confident that you're going to get in there and become the number one eventually?
Yeah, I've always have been confident, and that's what I ultimately want to get to. I think just over the last 18 months, obviously tough what happened to Joe and the way that he was treated at City. He's had a tough time to go through, and I think there's an opportunity for anyone. It's an opportunity for Joe again to go and take it and continue with it. So it's all about me. I focus on playing well week in and week out for Stoke, and if I can do that, then hopefully that gets me in the squad, and I can put my foot in for the job, which is what I want.
You've got to be confident as a football player, though. You must, the form you're in at the moment, having come back from injury, you must think that you are the best English goalkeeper in the Premier League at the moment.
Yeah, you've got to think that way. I don't go to training thinking I'm not, but I always know that there's someone on my shoulder. Whether it's at club or country, there's always someone who wants your place or who's ahead of you, and that's how I try and train and play. Is that I've got to either keep my spot or take theirs. So try not to take it for granted. Jack,
do you, on the training pitch with Mark Hughes, do you work much with the defence and the goalkeeper? Because Zuma today made a couple of inspirational challenges in front of you, and that must inspire you as well.
Yeah, definitely. I think we've gone to a new formation. Our back five is extremely athletic now. Kurt, Ryan, Jeff, and obviously the two full wing backs as well. We've got an athletic back five, and that was shown tonight with the tackles that Kurt made. But we do work on it, which is really good, and we've got a fit group that are willing to work hard, and we do practice and we do work on the defensive things. Obviously over the years we haven't scored as many goals as we would have liked, so something that we've always tried to be is as solid as we can defensively, and now with the players that we've got going forward, we can let them go and do their thing and try and do our bit at the back.
And has Kurt brought a bit of fun to the changing room? I was chatting to a couple of Chelsea players last year. They said he's the life and soul of the party.
He is very much that. Yeah, big bubbly. Yeah, big friendly giant really, but he's brilliant to have around. His energy, he is what he is on the pitch, off it, and really good to have someone like him in the dressing room.
And he might not be the only one that's into his music and things, because have you seen Hesse rapping?
We have, yeah.
What do you think? We've got it here for you. For those of you at home that haven't seen this, what's his rapper name? JM Yasabia, I think. Has he got a future if the football thing doesn't work out? What do you think, Jack?
Hopefully, he just continues doing really well with football, to be honest. And
yeah,
that's Crouchy's gig, don't it?
Yeah, it's Crouchy's.
That's Crouchy's gig, that.
Yeah.
King of the dancing.
Yeah, it is indeed. Yeah. But we've got an opportunity for him next week to perform that for us, if you like.
Have you?
Away to West Brom, there'll be, I'm sure, on the pre-match meal the night before, there'll be an opportunity for him to do something for us. A
couple of quick questions for you. This is from Dan Campbell. Thanks for your question, Dan. Get involved. #PL tonight. This is a nice one. How do you fancy replacing David De Gea if he was to leave Man United?
Always.
Do you want to answer that on live telly as well?
No. I mean, like I said, I'm really happy if that opportunity ever came around. That's something you've got to deal with at the time. But really happy. Felt incredible after that win, and hopefully continue that here. And who knows what the future holds.
How are you feeling about facing Manchester United? They're obviously scoring very heavily. I think it's the next fixture for you.
Could be busy.
West Brom next weekend, and then we've got them not long after international break. Yeah, so not far away. But I mean, they've really produced and put together an incredible squad. We watched them earlier on today, having pre-match and stuff. And by the time I got from the car to the building, they'd scored another 2. So they're quite a force to be reckoned with this year. And we beat them here before, and hopefully we can do that again.
And look, Arsenal came into this one having scored 4 goals. 4 goals in their first game of the season. There are your fixtures. Do you have a clean sheet target, says AS Nash? Is that something you think about personally?
Yeah, obviously the biggest thing is contributing to as many points as you can. There's times where it might be a 4-4, but you might make a save that allows you to go up the other end and win 5-4. It's not about that, but personally, do want to keep more clean sheets. As long as we're contributing and making important saves to win us points, that's all that matters.
Great. And Chris, there's a great performance today from Jack Butland _1. If you want to give him a follow on Twitter. Do you like Twitter? Are you on there a lot?
Yeah, I use it. Yeah.
Right. Great to see you back to your best after a tough 12 months. That was difficult. I mean, you made light of it at times, tweeting pictures of you moving around, shopping centres in mobility scooters and stuff like that. But it must have been horrible.
Yeah. the first injury was probably the easiest to get over. You know, you have an operation, you do all your rehab, and you get back on the pitch. It was the start of last season, the day before the first game of the season, it kind of all flared up again, and it was the following 4 or 5 months of just injections, seeing specialists, you know, and ultimately someone managed to put their finger on it and just had to do the operation again and just do it right this time. So, yeah, it was a lot of waiting around, a lot of ups and downs, but, you know, finally got there in the end and, yeah, feel back to normal now.
Andrew says, wow, Butland is as impressive in the studio as he is between the sticks. Basically, we're not going to need you back, Steve.
Good.
Is that all right?
Fine.
You might as well get on the road.
I wish.
He can present. Can he present as well?
Can you present?
He's got a few nice
Jack,
There's not a job going here for a presenter, obviously.
We take it with Jack from now on.
Oh, you look good in the jacket. But Steve lives in Mallorca, so he'd probably be happy to get back to the warm or whatever. Without wanting to embarrass you too much, you've both played with some of the best goalkeepers going. How good is Jack? You might want to put your fingers in your ears for this.
Well, for me, he's in fantastic form. I just hope that Gareth Southgate picks the best man for the job, especially in a World Cup year.
At the moment, who is that?
Well, on current form, it's Jack. You know, stats don't lie, and if you go on... But listen, it's early days. Jack's experienced enough to know it's very early in the season, but I just hope we've got a manager in Gareth Southgate that picks the best man for the job and not someone on reputation.
I think sometimes...
Form, not fame, isn't he?
Where Jack has been injured for such a long time, now he's doing it all for the second time and he's taking it more on board, and maybe it's benefited him in the wrong, make him a better goalkeeper, a better person, and savour these moments and not get carried away with it, because there's nothing better. There's sitting here now, you know, you're in the bath after the game, you've beaten a top team, and all that hard work was worthwhile. But you know, you never know what's around the corner as a player, so you have to enjoy it, love it, and aim for the stars, and you might just touch the ceiling.
Yeah. He can definitely touch the ceiling. He's about 7'5".
Cheers for that, Matt. Thanks for
I thought they'd throw that interview. Someone told me to say that.
Aim for the stars, you might just touch the ceiling. It's not going to catch up.
It's not quite high enough.
Stars on the ceiling.
He could touch the ceiling.
Sorry about this. Look, thanks so much for coming in and joining us. We thought we would finish, though, with this photo. I'm sure you had no doubt what it means today for Stoke fans, this win.
I've seen this
but there is a shot of Hesse's first Premier League goal. Just look at the fans falling down the stairs in celebration. Hopefully they don't have a year out.
I hope he's all right.
I think they're fine. Yeah, I think we have it on good authority that they're okay. But look, really well played today. It was a great performance from the team, but you personally as well. It was impressive.
Thank you very much.
Good luck for the rest of the season. Good luck for the England call-up. Jack Butland, everybody. Well done, Jack. I always knew you were good enough to replace Steve McManaman. You get to come back in just a second. Right, once again, after the break, 3-word match reports, who you support, and the 3 words that sum up your team's performance today. And we're going to talk West Ham and Liverpool in just a couple of seconds. See you in a moment, and thanks a lot, Jack. Top man. Welcome back. Nice to have you with us this evening. Any other words of wisdom? No. I love that.
Just love it.
Three-word match. I tell you what, give us a 3-word match report for Arsenal today.
Very ordinary.
Arsenal.
Very ordinary.
Extremely very ordinary.
You're on every week. You're on every week. William Bray, West Ham fan, says relegation battle incoming. We're going to talk about West Ham in a couple of moments. If you're a West Ham fan, use hashtag APL tonight to get involved. We've got Carnu, says Luke, who's a West Brom fan. Joe Newman, Liverpool fan, ruthless, patient, winners. 3 strong words there. And finally, Sarah Thompson, who's also a West Ham fan, says Groundhog Day. Right, well, let's do it. Let's talk about West Ham. This is Rob Armstrong and the story of his day today.
So here we are. It's a lovely day to be a West Ham fan, as it always is, until about 3 o'clock anyway. At London Victoria, about to get the train down to the south coast to watch the mighty West Ham stick 8 past Southampton. Different squad this week. We've dropped 3 of the ones. We've got Jose Fonte, which seems like we're just taking the mick out of Southampton a little bit, putting him back in the team. Antonio's back, top scorer from last year. I'm going to stick with my original prediction. We're going to score 8. Either that or we're going to win 3-1. Name me one thing more West Ham than your record signing getting sent off in the same game that the defender has just signed a 6-year contract, gets stretched off in a warm-up for. horrible first half. It was definitely a red card because Bilic didn't even look at him in the face. But at least we got a goal back, so 8-2. Not a penalty. Rubbish. 2 soft penalties. And he didn't give us anything all game. I think we might have had one at some point as well, but I didn't really see it. Either way, Southampton, they're hopeless. 10 men, they didn't look the better team at all. They're hopeless. Go on, your hands! Exactly. It's all going to be fine.
Good old Rob. He's a great bloke, actually. Give him a follow on social media. If you were to draw a trajectory of his day, it's just sort of gone like that, hasn't it? But West Ham, guys, they look in disarray.
Well, I would have said the 3 words, lack of discipline today, because Mark Noble should have got sent off early on in the game. And Arnautovic did go. The penalties, I actually thought were penalties. The Font penalty, he didn't need to do. The only saving grace, the only shining light on the day was Chicharito, and Ando looks really sharp. He scored 2 really good goals, poachers' goals. And they'll score goals and they'll be fine. But the manager really has to clamp down, because players let each other, you let your teammates down today. You let, a load of the punters who've travelled a long, long way, you let them down. You've let the manager down today, because some of those the decisions in their own minds at times on the pitch was deplorable.
I think they were very unlucky today. They could have come away with a point.
Could have come away with something, yeah. That's the sad thing about it.
A lot of positives to take from the performance today. But if you look about West Ham in general as a whole, conceded 64 goals last season, conceded 7 in 2 games this season. Now, if you've got aspirations of pushing for Europa League spaces or finishing in the top half of the table, you can't concede that amount of goals. You'll end up in a relegation battle, that's fine.
Slavan Bilic is under real pressure there, isn't it? I know before the game they lost Reed. Obiang had to go into the defence, and I think Rice came into the midfield. So there's a few changes at last minute there you wouldn't want to have to make. And they were 2-0 down, got back into the game, but the alarm bells are ringing there now, I'm afraid, at West Ham. It's a shock.
Once they got to 2-2, they looked as if they were going to go on to win the game. So you sort of agree with Rob, as in Southampton, who eventually won the game, were not that impressive, certainly when they were down to 10 men. It's just that the 2 penalties, whether, if you're a West Ham fan, you certainly don't think the second one was a penalty on Zabaleta, but the fact that he's given the opportunity for the referee to make a decision, that was that lack of discipline again. It's like, don't give the referee a chance to give a penalty near the end of the game.
OK, let's go through a few questions and some comments as well. Hernandez will keep West Ham up. Best summer signing, says Paul Vant. Bob Clark, who is at Bob Clark 56, no leadership, no tactics, no idea. I don't care about only the second game. This is a shambles. We have no idea what to do. Very worrying. Paul Holland, 1987 on Twitter. Bilic is awful. He can't get a defence to defend properly. We've conceded goals for fun for 3 years now. Time to go. # Mancini in. And Bill O'Reilly, Hayes Nick 1. Bilic has to go. We were awful last season. We've lost 2 on the trot to start this season. Bring back Big Sam, brackets offer stability. Now, we've covered West Ham games for the last 5 years. They couldn't wait to get rid of Sam Allardyce when he was offering stability down there.
What I would say is that you cannot legislate. Slaven Bilic has picked his team today. I mean, I don't know West Ham in and out like the West Ham fans do, and they love it and they have a different passion about me. But Winston Reid, the best defender, getting injured in the warm-up, it's not down to the manager. Mark Noble throwing in an awful challenge but staying on the pitch, and then Arnautovic inexplicably running across and elbowing somebody, getting sent off.
That had 64 goals conceded last season. That is down to the manager.
That's last year,
it? Can't build a
defence. I'm saying today's performance, you can't suddenly just gang up on Slaven. Yes, I agree. 64 and 7 goals is not good enough, but I'm taking today in and saying the discipline on the pitch when it's up to you to stay on the pitch and help your team. The record signer can't run across and just elbow somebody in front of the referee. Then you're down to 10 men. I mean, it's just...
Is Bilic doing enough there, though?
Well, the manager does play a part in the discipline because he creates that environment that everyone is comfortable in, and there's a behaviour, there's a line that you don't go below. And Arnautovic is a player we know is physical. He's gone to it. He's desperate to do well. It's not going well, and he's challenging and putting all that effort into the wrong areas. And they need time now to settle this down. I'm not sure who they're playing next.
They need a win. They need a win very, very quickly. But you know yourself, another defeat after the first 2, and it just gathers momentum. I think they miss Andy Carroll as well. Andy Carroll's huge for them. He gives them another dimension. But
Antonio came in today.
He did well.
But
he did well.
Again, it's like getting people always seem playing catch up, don't they? Font was back today. Reed's out. So they need to get everybody back into the team. And but I still feel he's on borrowed time, the manager.
You think so? You think he's on borrowed time?
But you understand that. If Mark Hughes would have lost today, 2-0, 3-0, there would have been a chase and, everybody would have been saying...
This isn't 1 or 2 games, though, for Pinic.
I know.
Last season was not good enough. And
no, it wasn't good enough for West Ham.
Has not been good enough in the first 2 games. How long do you give it?
Well, he's under pressure. You can't get away from it. After the season they had last year, the signings they've made, the investments again, he's under pressure. You can't get away from that.
But you can see they're after more players, aren't they? They're linked with Carvalho.
Yeah.
They're after more players because he must know they've got weaknesses there. But you certainly... we can't sit here and start getting after the manager after 2 games in the middle of August.
Yeah, but you can't... I don't know whether you take this in 2 games, though, or whether you take this from the start of last season. He's had a lot of money to spend. He's brought in the players.
It wasn't good enough last year. You need to give them time to get involved in this game. You need them to get the new players.
In a way, it's not as if they're not looking forward to a home game, are they? Because their home form last year, their new home, they've not been able to play at home again this season because of the World Championships that's taken place. So, I fear for them at home because I think everyone goes there thinking that they can actually beat. It's not the old West Ham when you went to the old ground there, Upton Park. It was a fearsome, intimidating place and was almost a guaranteed 3 points for a lot of the matches.
But if you're saying they need to rely on their home form the way it went there last season, that is an issue. And Arnautovic, following his sending off, did actually put a message on social media. I want to apologise to all the West Ham fans. Just want to let you know I didn't want to let my team down and you fans. So please, Common You Irons, a big apology to you all. Thanks very much for all your comments as well about West Ham this evening. Let's now talk Liverpool. Liverpool fans, get in touch right now. Your questions will appear here. I'll ask them to the guys, but we'll start with the thoughts of Gareth Roberts, who's a Red.
Not a vintage performance from Liverpool, but 3 points, and that's what it's all about. I think when Jürgen announces the team and he says he's changing 5 players, you worry about the fluidity, you worry about the fluency. That was a problem for Liverpool. Palace put everyone behind the ball, and at times you worried about where the creativity was going to come from in the midfield. But Sadio Mane, what a player, kept plugging away, won the game for us. He's a big, big asset in for Liverpool.
He is.
I agree. He was my tip for the PFA Player of the Year this season. I thought Liverpool really struggled in the month, the end of December, January last year. They got knocked out the FA Cup. They lost and dropped points in the league, and the season was affected badly by Mane's injury. So he's a very key and important player for Liverpool, and for me, he will be in contention for Player of the Year this year. I've watched him a lot. He's very unpredictable. He's got pace. He can go either side. He can combine. He runs in behind. He's got the lot.
OK, we've got a question here from Martin on Twitter. You can follow him at @mdumbill. Do you think the Liverpool squad is good enough to compete in Europe and at home with no additions? And this is the issue. An injury to Mane like we've had to Lallana, and very quickly the Liverpool squad looks threadbare, doesn't it?
Well, I think we know that the manager wants to bring in more reinforcements. We've said this, we've had this discussion before, so the answer is probably no. They're not strong enough to do battle and do really well and go really deep in all 4 cup competitions this year. Including the Premier League, of course. The fact that he wanted Gnabry, the fact that he wanted Van Dijk and he's been linked with them, we know that he wants to bring more people in, but getting them and getting the deals across the line.
Other clubs are getting players, though.
I think you can't buy the wrong players. You want certain players. If they're not available, you can't just go for second-hand quality, can you?
But I think he's trying to nurture young players, which Stephen will know a little bit about at that football club. I just love how refreshing it was talking about Alexander-Arnold. You're playing... In the first team, the youth team, doesn't matter. The goals are the same size. Shoot from distance. I've seen you do it in the youth team. You can do it in the first team. And he's gone and done it. He's been rested today. Gomez came in, another youngster at the club, played it right back today. So he hasn't got the players, but he's going to nurture them. He's going to bring them through. And that's good news for the Liverpool Academy. And it's a real joy for the club when another player makes it into that Liverpool first team.
I think we can only answer that question in a couple of weeks' time. And let's see what, if he does get a couple of players in before that window, then we'll be able to obviously judge that question a lot more closely towards the end.
Yeah, but also, I think Martin's right. We need when we have these big academies and we criticise, 1 minute we're criticising Chelsea for sending so many out on loan. It's good the fact that, John Flanagan was on the bench today, who's come through the academy. We know, of course, Alexander-Arnold, Ben Woodburn. We know these type of players. They didn't get changed today. So Liverpool's squad is bulking up, but they probably could do with a few more experienced bodies in there.
And I feel that the local guys, they carry a torch for the fans. They're the fan on the pitch. And it takes that, and they want that identity, and Liverpool have had that throughout, and they need to keep nurturing those young players. OK, we've got loads of questions coming in from Liverpool fans, as you would expect. So let me try and run through a few, just with some really quick answers, if you can. Alex Hill, thoughts on Andrew Robertson's debut today?
Thought he played well today. I thought Liverpool, in general, played well today. I know Benteke missed a really good chance at a pivotal moment, but Liverpool made lots and lots of chances.
OK, Sonny says a question for Stephen. Do you think the transfer rumours about Coutinho could have a psychological effect on Liverpool? Does that destabilise the dressing room?
It's a difficult one. Maybe. That's the answer to that one. It wouldn't have affected me because, you know, once the kick-off starts, you're worried and you're focused on the game and you forget it. But, you know, it's not helpful. Ideally, you know, you want Coutinho out there playing and helping the team. It doesn't
Maybe
help,
one of his Brazilian mates or one of the Spanish lads. It wouldn't have affected us. I'm the same. It would have been an excuse for me.
It'd be an easy excuse for players.
I would like to know the public opinion, though. What are the Liverpool fans really feeling about this? Are they happy to cut loose if he doesn't want to play?
They just want the window shut.
They want to keep Coutinho. No doubt, is there? Sai says, do you think Klopp needs to bury the hatchet with Sakho? Would it improve our back four?
No, it just doesn't. I don't think so.
No,
I don't think so. Whether it improve him, I don't know. But the fact that he doesn't want him in the squad, in the team, suggests that that will not happen.
Really quickly, is Van Dijk still a necessity?
Yes. For me, I think if you want to compete in the league and in the Champions League, as Maka said, it's been well documented that we need 2 or 3 signings in before.
And a one-word answer, this is for you, Stephen, and you, Maka. Would you take 4th place in the league right now for Liverpool?
And what? In
Champions League spot, isn't it? That's basically what they're saying.
No, I don't mean that. I mean, how well do they go in the Champions League? I don't want them to fail in the first hurdle.
I don't know. The question is, would you take 4th in the league?
Just 4th and nothing else.
Right.
No. The answer's no.
There you go, no.
All right, no.
All right, I'll go with whatever he says.
Would you say Norwich finishing 4th?
Absolutely, yeah. They got smashed again today.
In League 2.
I'd take 4th in the...
Sorry, Delia.
After the break, we're going to talk about your best and worst away grounds. Where do you love going? Where do you hate going? Where have you got some great memories or some great stories? Lots of us have already come in on that, but keep them coming, and we'll get the thoughts of these 3 jokers as well. See you in a second.
This programme is sponsored by Bet365.
It's the final part of Premier League tonight. We're talking about your best and worst away grounds in just a couple of moments. But let's have a little look at what's coming up this week. Astana up against Celtic on Tuesday from 4 in the second leg of their Champions League playoff. Celtic through, aren't they? Liverpool with a bit of work to do at home to Hoffenheim on Wednesday from 7. The next weekend, BT Sport Score, followed by Manchester United up against Leicester as the Reds look to make it 3 wins on the bounce. And then Premier League tonight, next Saturday, live from Old Trafford from 8 o'clock. OK, 3-word match reports. Brighton fan Ollie says really tough start. You just get used to life in the Premier League, don't you, as a promoted club so quickly. Or, as a Norwich fan, I know all about that. Tony, Liverpool fan, we beat Palace, exclamation mark. Kane said, a clean sheet, a Liverpool fan as well. And Apov, Tony Martial effect. Thanks for all of the comments tonight using hashtag PL tonight. Keep them coming. In a moment, we're going to talk about best and worst away grounds. But first, let's hear what the fans have got to say.
I think I'd have to pick Upton Park as my favourite away ground.
Selhurst Park, that's always a good trip.
My main favourite one has to be easily Griffith Park over at Brentford. Terrace End, gotta love a Terrace End. Pub on every corner of the ground.
And I love going to West Brom. There's something special about that place, a real football venue.
Proper old school Crystal Palace.
My favourite away ground as a Manchester United fan has to be Villa Park. I think we may have had more memories and more great moments at Villa Park than Aston Villa fans have had.
As a Liverpool fan, I think Carrow Road, the home of Norwich, has got to be my favourite away ground. We just always do well there.
Hopefully some away fans will pick this beautiful stadium, St James's Park.
You've got to hand it to the Geordies. They're a passionate crowd, they know the football, they get behind the team. I love the fact that the ground's in the middle of the city so you can have some refreshments after.
Wembley's going to be a fantastic away day for anyone that goes down there to play Tottenham. And to go to the National Stadium and see our teams play, especially Newcastle, would be an absolutely fantastic experience.
Brilliant. Thanks for all of those. It's different for you 3, you see, because you never used to go and watch the games like as an away supporter. St James's Park, the atmosphere is brilliant, but you're so high up, it takes you till about the 65th minute just to get your breath back. Carrow Road, you never liked playing there. It was hostile, wasn't it? You were
guaranteed 3 points, wasn't it? Yeah, guaranteed 3 points.
I love that.
Lovely day in the sun. Nice, lovely.
Nice
Got fed up because we kept winning there, but never mind.
Suarez, man.
Yeah.
I felt so sorry for John Ruddy. OK, right. Best and worst away grounds. Loads of them coming in. Dan, Craven Cottage. Classic ground, classic location. Nice. Huh?
Yep.
Special football ground. Charlie Blake, Stoke away is the best. Went to a curry house after Chelsea got beat 3-2. Bring your own booze. Best day of my life at Stoke. Should we?
Easily, please.
Shall we?
Where is it?
Charlie, send us the address. We'll be there in 5 minutes' time. Go on then. Best and worst. What was it for you? Let's start with you. The best play. Where did you love to go and play football?
I used to love playing at Everton, Man United, all the big games, Barcelona.
Just because of the size of the goal bar, don't throw Barcelona.
Well, it was nice to go and play there.
Show off.
It was nice. Well, it was nice to go and play and win there. It was fine. But the bigger the place, the more hostile the atmosphere, the more I used to, really thrive on it.
Rise to the challenge.
I enjoyed the Nou Camp, but playing in the Premier League was without doubt. 3 Point Lane was always a nice one. It's a shame it's gone forever. The worst would have been West Ham. They hated me there with an absolute passion. They just did. This monkeys chant. They kept
they made masks and stuff, didn't they?
Listen, it just made me play even better. I had my best performances whenever I played against West Ham. I actually loved it. I can't remember losing again.
What about your family and stuff? Like I guess they were in the crowd.
I never invited them along. They didn't buy any of the T-shirts that were on sale. Anyway.
Did you get a percentage of those T-shirts? That's the main thing.
No, it was all black market stuff.
Trademark.
What was the T-shirts?
I've no idea. I never.
You never bought one? No, I don't blame you actually. But that never affected you.
Not at all.
It's very personal, that, isn't it? It's not about your football. It's not about your club.
Listen, you just have to take it what comes your way and concentrate on the football, and that matters. The most important thing was to win and get 3 points. Old Trafford was I won at Old Trafford 5 times during my career, and I don't think many players would have done that. Yeah. So for some reason, I always enjoyed going there. But I had a fantastic team in front of me, the likes of Vieira, and who did all that work for us. It was quite easy then when you went there with really good players.
Go on, Stephen.
I agree with the lads. I used to thrive off the banter from the terraces, so it was always Goodison and Old Trafford for me. I used to love going there, especially if you got to win as well. It'd be a great day.
What about your families?
What about them?
Did they never get affected when you were getting abuse on the terrace or whatever? Or was that just something that they just learned to live with? Or?
No choice, have you? You just got to get on with it as a family and yourself. But I used to thrive off it. I felt like I used to play better. It used to charge me up even more. I never used to enjoy the Nou Camp though, Mac. I never used to get a kick. I used to get about 3 touches of the ball in 90 minutes. Didn't enjoy that one.
Really? Okay.
I didn't like playing at Crystal Palace.
Why not? Just difficult to get to? Or?
Yeah, Croydon was miles away from Liverpool. It took about 5 hours down the M6.
I remember as an away fan, you'd get there and they used to go to the supermarket next door and get those tiny little stubbies and sell them for like £3 a bottle, and you're like, that's not acceptable.
I don't think the old den was very welcoming. Looking back,
that was the magic of it, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was the good part. Yeah.
Do you miss those sort of old grounds a bit in some ways? Like when we do the Europa League and you go to these sort of slightly crumbling old grounds, they're a bit more atmospheric than where Chelsea will be playing football in 5 years, where Spurs will be next season.
No, I'd have to disagree.
You like all the new modern?
I just think the Premier League, the atmospheres in the Premier League is amazing, and when foreign teams play in our grounds, they think it's the greatest atmosphere ever.
Do they?
Yes, they do.
I think it's right. I mean, our stadium now, of course, it came out of that horrible disaster at Hillsborough, but our stadium now is probably the best in Europe, if not the world.
They're always full. They're always full. Every game in the Premier League's full. You watch like Serie A or La Liga, and it's only really the big games where the stadium.
And they don't have many away fans in places like La Liga, so they can't generate the same atmosphere as like we had today or last week at Brighton. They're very, very special types of atmosphere. You don't get that in La Liga.
And we're not going to sit here and say that everything is perfect in the world of football, but I don't think we celebrate the Premier League quite enough. We've got, we're a tiny island with the best football product in the world, with full stadiums, with safe stadiums, thousands of children here today, completely safe place to come and watch a really good game of football with the biggest stars in the world.
And the games at the weekend to come, at Wembley, Chelsea, Tottenham, that's another experience.
Tottenham, let's just quickly sort of touch on Tottenham and Wembley. How much of a hindrance for them this season is that?
Well, I think if they can fill it, they've had experience and it hasn't gone well before. Hopefully they've learned from that. But if they can fill it and get big numbers in there and get them behind the team, I don't see why they can't use it as a positive.
I think if they're starting to really personalise Wembley with the Tottenham regalia.
It's inspirational, though, for the opponent, isn't it?
Well,
Wembley?
no, it shouldn't be. If there's 75,000 Tottenham fans screaming at the top of voice, that should terrify the opposition.
We did this at Arsenal. We played at Wembley and it was very, very difficult, but they can almost finish Chelsea's season If they can, that'd be 2 defeats for Chelsea on the bounce if Spurs can do it. So they've got to go into it, turn it into a home straight away. A good result will do that for them.
I'm not sure it finishes the season.
Finishes the season after 2 games. It's 2 defeats for Chelsea.
Doesn't mean the season's over.
We'll leave them to carry on talking. Just to let you know that the WTA semi-final from Cincinnati. Follow us right here on BT Sport 1. We'll leave you with the ups and downs from all of the fans across the country today, and we'll leave you with this word of wisdom: reach for the stars. If you can't, just touch the ceiling. Good night.
Back-to-back 4-0 wins. That'll do nicely.
Comfortable win, nice to get a clean sheet and in positive goal difference after last week's loss.
When you think of Bournemouth, you think of fast attacking football. You think of a team that will score more than the opposition. They might let in 3, but they'll probably score 4. At the moment, we don't even look like we're going to take 4 shots.
Today was a wake-up call.
We are still quite far behind some clubs, and it's going to be a long season if we don't address the problems that we've seen today.
Not as disappointed as I was last week. Much better performance against Liverpool.
Capoue with a screamer towards the end to send the away fans wild. 3 points, come on you Horns.
Can we say joint top of the league? Boing boing.